What's up guys, it's Tom here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a hot topic that I saw Jeff Passan tweet about, and that is players being paid based off of their fWAR. I knew immediately that I needed to talk about this because WAR and sabermetrics in general are a hot topic. The battle between the old heads and newer stat geeks always clash when it comes to this type of deal, and now we're gonna see players get paid based off of this stats. This was proposed by MLB to the MLB Players Association for the upcoming collective bargaining agreement. They are talking about getting rid of arbitration and putting in a new system to pay players based off of their fWAR. So I'll explain the proposed plan that I read through and also talk about the pros and cons, and then at the end give my opinion about this whole situation. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more MLB content and free agency content coming your way. The proposed plan would increase the minimum salary of first-year players to $600,000, and then their second season they make $700,000, and then their third season they make $800,000. A player with more than 3 years of service time would multiply their career fWAR by $580,000 for that year's salary. Then the year after that, they'd multiply it by $770,000, and then in the final year they'd multiply it by $910,000. So basically this system would get rid of arbitration as we know it right now, instead of teams disputing how much they think the player is worth and the player themselves giving an offer to think how much they're worth to the team. Also, Super 2 players would be replaced with the Elite 2 plan. Players who earn all MLB honors would get a salary bump of anywhere from $825,000 to $2.5 million in their third year. I'll explain the Super 2 player real quick. Normally, players reach arbitration after their third year of service time. However, for Super 2 players, there are players between their second and third year of service time, and the top 22% of that class become eligible for arbitration at the beginning of their third year instead of the end or after their third year of service time. So it basically gives the player an extra year of arbitration where they can get more money compared to the league minimum. So that's the proposed plan. Now I want to talk about the pros and cons of this. Some pros I can think of for this proposal would be it gets rid of the current arbitration system. Players will get higher salaries while under team control in those first 3 years. It won't create any harsh feelings between a player and a team going through the arbitration process and kind of hearing from the team why they don't deserve as much money as they should. I have a lot of cons for this plan as well. You'll see quickly which side I'm on for or against this proposal. WAR is not a precise measurement. It should not be used in comparison to the decimal point. So if a player has 6.5 WAR and another player has a 6.6 WAR, that player with the 6.6 WAR doesn't necessarily mean he's better than the other player with the 6.5 WAR, even though he has a 0.1 higher WAR. WAR should be used in a way where it creates groups of players and separates them that way. So players with 4 to 6 WAR are obviously better than players with WAR of 2 to 4 and so on. More things I can think of are players have less negotiating power with the team, or basically no negotiating power at all if this plan was put in place. Specialty players could lose more money, such as DHs, relievers, defensive specialists. Guys that come to mind such as Yordan Alvarez. Obviously he's very important, but he's not gonna accumulate as much WAR as a position player, even though he still puts up really good numbers as a DH and really good WAR for a DH. He's really valuable to the Astros, plain and simple. Same with a guy like Josh Hader. He still accrues a lot of WAR for a reliever, but the impact that Josh Hader has for a team over a season and in the playoffs for a team is priceless, and that doesn't get factored in when you are talking about fWAR. The defensive specialists, a guy I can think of such as Nicky Lopez, who has a very good glove at shortstop for the Royals, and then a league average bat. Obviously his WAR is not going to be as high, but I think the defensive metrics within the WAR calculation don't do enough justice for guys with really good gloves. The final thing I can think of is pitchers' stats will be skewed basically because the fWAR calculation really only takes into account K rate, walk rate, and home run rate. It really doesn't look at the ball in play statistics since it uses FIP in its calculation, which is fielding independent pitching, which basically measures how a pitcher does without their defense. I'll give you guys some examples real quick using some players that have just been a Super 2 player or are going into arbitration this year. A great example is Juan Soto, who was a Super 2 player last year, and through his first year of arbitration, he was able to receive $8.5 million from the Nationals. Under this new proposed plan, he would have been an Elite 2 player, and he would have got the $800,000 of his base pay plus the $2.5 million if we expect him to be at that higher end of the Elite 2 player status. So he would have got $3.3 million, which I think criminally undervalues Juan Soto's performance. However, I think if you accumulate enough WAR early in your team control years, that it pays off down the road because it takes a look at your total WAR throughout your career. Once you get to that arbitration level, your 4th, 5th, and 6th year. Another example, Vlad Jr. He is gonna go into his first year of arbitration this year. I think he's a Super 2 guy, but for the purpose of this example, we're gonna ignore that. Under the new plan, he would get $4.2 million in his first year if you multiplied the $580,000 times his 7.3 career fWAR. Let's say he accumulates 6 fWAR over the next 2 years to make the calculations easy. Year 2, it'd be 770,000 times 13.3 fWAR for 10.2 million, and in the third year, it would be 910,000 times 19.3 career fWAR for a total of $17.5 million. For me, in conclusion, there's some things I like about this proposed plan and some things I don't like about this proposed plan. I like that MLB is thinking of an alternative to their current arbitration system. I think that's a very good positive thing, but I really don't like that WAR is gonna be the end all be all stat for players to get paid. I mean, you're talking about a 0.1 fWAR increase and decrease. That's going to be tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of $1,000s. Starts to add up quickly, you know, and I don't think that's fair. I think you could kind of tweak this system. It's a good starting point. Obviously, I don't think the MLB PA is going to agree to this deal the way it is right now, but some things I think you could tweak to this plan. Instead of paying players off of their career fWAR, you could do that. However, put it into different tiers and make it kind of a salary floor, I guess. In my eyes, say over 6 years, if you accumulate a fWAR of anywhere from 18 to 24, you get paid this amount, and then it goes up from there, so on and so on. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this topic. It'll be an interesting discussion down below. I know people have varying opinions about the topic of fWAR, WAR, and sabermetrics altogether. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well, especially if you're new. I've been getting some good support, and I appreciate the support on the free agency predictions video. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I post MLB content pretty regularly on the channel. With that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.